got it for Instagram.
We're back. This time with indigestion. We all need to get a lightsaber. That's the goal
We
for
do.
next time.
Yeah.
Goals.
All right, nice to be back. Let us know where you're watching from. I'll actually turn the light on now.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that May will stop laughing
Don't
in the
count
next 5 minutes.
I can mute myself.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, guys.
Nice to see you in the chat already.
Yeah. Look at that.
I'm gonna go to Amazon and order my lightsaber. So.
No, Theory Sabers.
Yeah, you have to go to Theory Sabers.
And use the code, Philip's code to get... No, I don't know if he has.
Actually, if you get it from Amazon DE, can you send me the listing? Because I'm ordering from DE as well.
You said it from DE?
Yeah, from Amazon Germany. That's what we ordered from here as well.
Oh, really?
All right, we got more people dropping in.
Hey.
France.
France.
Nice.
Maybe you should type in a poll, if the people are watching are from Europe or from the US.
Yeah, where's everybody from? Someone said France.
Good idea. Because today we're very Europe heavy in this call.
Yeah. Only US person here with a hat.
People who don't care about the G star.
In case you couldn't tell.
Yeah, we have
South
some
Florida.
India,
We got
Morocco.
We got someone from India too.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Ooh.
Too bad we can't have a map that just goes...
Yeah.
That'd
UK.
That'd be cool.
Okay.
Morocco.
Starting
Nice.
the poll.
European and Florida, they hit both spots, I guess.
Mhm.
Here we go.
European in Florida,
Nice.
yes. That's the one.
Nice.
Oh, I'm a broette. Bros and broette.
Lots
Bro and
of-
broette.
Lots of Floridians.
Do you want to Google man from Florida and your date to see what happens?
Bros and broettes.
Floridian man. It's one of the biggest jokes on. Okay, we have Philly.
Bangladesh.
We have
British
Aussies.
to Morocco.
Philly. I see a Philly.
Nice.
And Iowa.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
I feel like we are very mellow today.
Ooh. It's because of what
It
you
was
did
funny
before we
before
started.
the street.
The first topic on the list today is actually it's
Thailand.
Daniel, because we've got a newcomer.
Yes.
I almost
Hello.
forgot. Daniel Schultes.
It's me, Daniel.
Hey,
Yes.
Daniel.
Yeah.
Do you want to...
Do you say Schultes or
Yeah.
Schultz?
In German, you say Scholtes.
Schultes.
Daniel Scholtes.
Daniel
Yeah,
Schultes.
that's all. Or like in English, Daniel Scholtes. I don't know. I researched my name, and there's a brand of kitchen items.
Really?
What I say, Scholtes or something like that.
Nice.
Not so embarrassing. This is
But-
nice. It was brand
the-
of lingerie.
For those watching who don't know Schultes, who don't know Daniel, sorry, and
Yeah.
he doesn't do kitchens. What do you do?
Yeah, so I'm an Amazon merch seller. I'm in tier 30K, and I started this business in February 2019. Besides my main job as a civil engineer, I did this. Basically, I did 2 full-time jobs.
I know.
Yeah.
You quit your
And
job
then I
like a
quit,
year ago,
yeah.
didn't you?
And then I quit, basically just 1 year ago. I quit my job as a civil engineer, and then since then I just
Full time?
did full-time Amazon merch, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Same. Welcome to the club.
Oh.
Same sort of time as Juna, I think.
Yeah, that's
Right? Has
about
it been a year?
July last year.
July. Oh, great.
I think I'm the most veteran in quitting her job and going full on freelancing.
Yeah. For when did you do that?
Well, in a month it will be a decade, probably.
Wow. Yeah, you win.
Yeah, you win that game.
Well, I officially started my business in August of 2015, but the last job I had was end of May 2015.
That's pretty damn good.
I don't remember what it's like to be employed.
Let us know in the chat actually if you're doing this full time, if you're doing it next to a job, what's the current situation with this? It'd be interesting to see.
I do not miss the traffic. I do not miss all the meetings.
The meetings were
drive to
horrible.
work.
Oh.
The drive to work was, even though I worked from home most of the time, but when I did drive to work, no.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
So the first topic on the agenda today is ChatGPT, which not only has it had a very interesting update recently, and I'm curious if any of you've been using it a lot more in your workflow since then, but apparently we also shouldn't be polite to it anymore. According to something May's found.
Wait, what?
May lives on the internet. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, basically said that the fact that we are polite to ChatGPT and ChatGPT is polite to us back is costing a lot of money in terms of the energy that it spends on unnecessary responses. But then he finished it with, well, like something like maybe that is a good thing that we're like,
okay. I had no idea.
A lot of money.
So basically, be rude to chat at your own risk.
Because it would be rude back.
Articles now, like that we can go over. This one could be really cool. I'm pulling off more articles if we want to find interesting things to talk about.
Yeah. There's one thing that I'd love to talk about because I recorded a video that'll come out probably in like 3 weeks or so, because I'm really ahead with my schedule. But there's a lot of these like custom character images where the copyright infringement is like all over the place, and like you can make something in like a Disney style or like a Studio Ghibli style.
Studio Ghibli, yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah, but the Ghibli thing was, he's still alive.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like, copyright is basically something enters the public domain like 70 years after some, like the last author involved in a work is like dead or like has passed. So there's so much like blatant copyright infringement, and some stuff on YouTube are a bit like misleading. So we can definitely like talk about the copyrighted stuff when it comes to like making Disney style stuff or like Studio Ghibli stuff, because we really can't make that stuff since that is like directly correlated with a studio or someone's work, so to speak.
Yeah.
So basically, you wouldn't apply the Studio Ghibli style to anything, whether it's just like a random cat image or.
Yeah, exactly. So I think like from my end, like I'm thinking like this is probably like a gray area. At least when I talk to ChatGPT about it, it's a gray area. But this like comes under something called trade, like dress or something like that. I think you have to speak to a copyright lawyer to understand it thoroughly. But basically, if you just think about it, like if you just break it down, usually this is how I think about it. Like if I just break it down to the most fundamental stuff to just make it easy to comprehend. If I spent like 10 years crafting a type of style like Disney did, or like Pixar did, or Studio, or or like Miyazaki did, I think his name is from Studio Ghibli, and that style is directly correlated with that like studio or artist, like Disney for like that Disney style, or Pixar for that Pixar style, or like Studio Ghibli for the Studio Ghibli style. Then doesn't it make sense that style is directly correlated with the studio? And in that case, since they made it, like they created it from nothing and made something out of it, wouldn't works in that style infringe on their copyright? In my head, it definitely would. Like a cartoon, like if you look at Cartoon Network when we were kids, like if there are different like cartoons, and they all have like a cartoon style, that's a broad style, not something that you can directly pinpoint a specific creator. Whereas a Disney style, Pixar style, or Studio Ghibli style is something that you can directly correlate with a creator. And in those cases, I think it's definitely copyright infringement. Whereas if you just think of it simply without having to complicate it too much, whereas if you make it like a cartoon style, like image that could be applied to anything, then that is probably not infringement. But this comes from my like layman's thinking of this.
No, it's actually backed up. it's backed up in a few court cases, because what they said about, even if you look at things that, for example, you would use the word you would use like the logo of Star Wars, for example. So what they're saying is basically, if the reason why the buyer wants it, it's because he likes the franchise.
Perfect.
This. So if someone bought, I don't know, something in the style of South Park because they like South Park, it doesn't matter who made it. It's the reason they bought it. And the only exception for that I know existed, at least on Etsy, was about, I think it was 7 years ago, that someone was selling, I will cartoon you in the style of The Simpsons.
Right.
Etsy wanted to shut down his store. Apparently, he's one of the original cartoonists of The Simpsons, and he had a release note from the company that started making it, at least when he left his job, that after 3 years that he leaves his job, he can make money from that cartoon style. And exactly 3 years after he stopped it, he opened his Etsy store. And that was, as far as I know, the only legal aspect of taking that cartoon style. Because make yourself look like The Simpsons. The reason is you look at it and you're like, oh, it's like The Simpsons. That's it.
Yeah, this makes total sense.
Yeah,
this makes total sense. And I think what you said there, May, was like a great definition of this. Like, if someone actually bought the thing because of the correlation with like the studio or creator, that's when you're definitely infringing. I think that was a great way.
Someone in the comments actually wrote that it may not be copyrighted or trademarked, but it's still an IP infringement. And that is exactly the point. The point is, why did I buy this? I bought this because I like the franchise.
Yeah, and like I get so many Shopify shops that does like, especially like one Shopify shops that comes up in my feed that does POD. Like, I love to see like POD ads just to learn how like POD ads for Shopify work and stuff like that. But there's so much. Like, there's like this one store that makes these blatant like Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild infringements that basically just says Children of the Wild, and it looks exactly like Zelda, and people buy it. Like, the definitions here is I think is spot on. Like, if someone buys it because of the correlation with a creator, then it's infringing, and that just makes total sense in my head, at least. So if like never for anyone, because we all do POD basically here, never. I don't think that's a great thing to just have at the back of your mind. The thing that May said there, never do anything that like, when you know that people buy this because they like the franchise that you are emulating, so to speak, in your designs.
Yeah, I also saw these ads on Facebook. I think they were like, this page was called I Draw You Yellow. And it was The Simpsons, of course, but they didn't mention Simpsons, but it's clearly infringing.
They know that they're in the wrong, so they changed the word from Simpsons to yellow. And then they're like, let me see if I can get away with it. Yeah.
It's like all the girls who used to sell Justin Timberlake or Justin Bieber stickers on Redbubble by calling it cute guy sticker.
I always ask myself, how do they get away with this? Do they not get a bad data or something like that?
I don't think that the people who are like in the printing phase really care about this or look at this. They're not the people who represent the company. And in my opinion, I also don't think that within the companies themselves, until there is an official complaint, that they would do much about it if it makes them money. And what they do is that they would post these things on Instagram with the tags of the person, and then just refer it to the cute guy sticker. And if you just upload a sticker that says cute boy or cute guy, it doesn't flag anything. The tags themselves back then, at least, were not so blunt. But people get away with these things even now. Like, even when they tag these things, it's like,
but you're definitely taking a chance. Your shop could be taken away. Your accounts could be closed. Your at the very least, those things could be taken down. It's crazy that print-on-demand sites themselves, like Redbubble and TeePublic, like if you go to the TeePublic tags and look at their tags that they're saying, these are the most popular tags, like 90% of them are copyright and IP infringement stuff. And like,
also on Redbubble.
And Redbubble, of course.
That's crazy.
So it's
I think where it becomes difficult for people is if it's something that's not obvious because you don't know the show, or maybe you don't know the country, so you're not involved in the culture. And if there's no trademark attached to whatever the listing data or the phrase in the shirt, but it still looks like Minecraft. Some people might not actually know that. So the way to check it that I've found is back to ChatGPT is actually just asking it or dropping a screenshot into ChatGPT and saying, I found these designs. Do you think they're linked to any intellectual property, any movies, any songs, anything like that? And oftentimes it will actually tell you, no, this is just a design trend, or yes, this looks like it's from XYZ. It's not perfect, but that's a good way to kind of do an IP check without having to Google
You can do a Google image search. A lot of the times that people use the same design in like a shop that is not on a marketplace. So they would literally flat out write what it is.
That's
so
true.
some people use the image search to that. I feel like we're all coughing today.
I always go by the rule, like if I have to think about it, then I don't do it. I just go 100% safe.
Yes.
Yeah.
If I have to change the word so that it doesn't get me flagged, then I don't.
Then there's something wrong. Yeah.
Don't
If the idea wasn't yours.
But I do want to just reiterate what Philip said, because we did like a trademark, like a big deep dive into trademarks and copyrights in my paid mentorship last week. And if you're ever unsure about any copyright, what Philip said is just what I do too, and it works really well. A screenshot of the thing that you want to make, or the design that you've made, and just ask ChatGPT, is there any like copyrighted or trademark material in this design? And it gives you like a good sense if it is or not.
I like that you went back to ChatGPT, because it started with ChatGPT doing things that can make you can do it in a style that's copyright, but then you go back to ChatGPT and ask it, is this copyright?
Yeah.
Most people use the Ghibli thing as personal use. So in that case, it's almost like, I feel like that was one of the reasons why, because the maker of this design style spoke about it and just seeing all of it everywhere. But the majority of people, at least, were not doing it for commercial use. They were doing it for personal. So that is even, I think that would be the case of, is ChatGPT infringing on the rights, not the people, because they're not using it for commercial purposes. But I did know that several companies actually use them as ads. I think something with this, and then they took it down after people complained about that.
And you can get paid for posts, like even if you're just posting it on your social media account. Some people's social media accounts are so big that they get paid for impressions.
Dude with a Sign did it. I forgot who he posted. I think it was a pizza company or something. But Dude with a Sign had his photos of him in that style holding a sign. Like he posted it as well.
Yeah.
Interesting time we live in.
But again, like going back to ChatGPT, like it's insane how good it is at the moment, in my opinion. I use it every single day, and I've even I've just started to use it basically for everything.
And
have you checked how much it's not really flagging with AI detector anymore? Like I did some posts recently with ChatGPT, and then I ran them through like 5 AI text detectors, and they were all like 20-30% chance it was made with AI.
Damn.
I prompt really well for blog posts. I don't know what you guys do but like with blog posts, because you can literally tell it, first of all, like if your prompt is literally telling your story, basically brain dump onto ChatGPT, even a personal story, and have them like rewrite this and ask ChatGPT to like create propositions, questions during the text, be rhetorical. The minute you are rhetorical, most AI detectors think that it's completely human. Be sarcastic, show emotions, and then don't repeat the same phrase more than twice, because people can repeat phrases twice. And then like pretty much most of the AI detectors that I checked were like 20-30% that this was made by AI. Some of them was like, this is completely human. And I'm like, wow.
So the AI is fooling AI is what's happening.
AI is becoming smarter to detect.
When I write emails for officials or something like that, I always like to prompt "white like a German."
Oh, nice!
It works quite good. Like this neutral German style.
Nice.
Neutral.
I really want to read one of your emails right now. What is it? Write like a German. Write like a human design manifesto. It's you can definitely give it characteristics, but I'm gonna try to do mine like a German.
Yeah, try.
You can try write like a pirate.
There's a lot of R's.
It's really fun. Yeah.
We've got a question here related to the IP stuff. So if you mix styles, is that allowed? For example, mixing Ghibli, Kawaii, Lisa Frank.
Kawaii is not trademarked as far as I know.
Yeah.
It means in Japanese.
Thank goodness.
I don't know.
I think if we just go back to what May said, because she just made a. I honestly think it was a really, really good like explanation of what it is. Like, if someone, like, if you honestly, you always have to ask yourself honestly. But if you honestly ask yourself, like, will people buy this design mainly because of the correlation, the correlation with the actual creator? Will they do that or not? Yes or no?
That's a good one.
If you always have that at the back of your mind, I think that will answer it for you.
Yeah, because this mix, like you're saying, probably won't look like a specific one of these, but it will look like a cool design, and then people will buy it because it looks cool, not because it looks like Ghibli or it looks like Lisa Frank.
I think that depends on what it creates, because let's say you want to get
what it creates.
Girl eating pizza and a puppy in a field. Let's say it makes the girl look like Ghibli style, the puppy is kawaii, and the background is Lisa Frank, then you have two double infringements.
Yeah.
But if it kind of like mashes everything together, but in that case, I wouldn't actually put it like this. I would put ask ChatGPT to give you the characteristics. For example, I mostly don't make images with ChatGPT. I make images. I tell ChatGPT to give me AI prompts for ideogram. Ask ChatGPT to give you an AI prompt to create something Ghibli style, and then ask him to give you an AI prompt for kawaii, and then an AI prompt for the same thing in the Lisa Frank style, and then mix it up as you do it.
Ooh.
Basically, create the mix within the AI prompt, so you're making sure that it doesn't look like each and every one of them. And in that case, that could be as, you know, if I'm right now going to go to ideogram and I'm going to tell it like a specific color palette, especially all those like browns and beiges of the Ghibli style, and say like make the skin color this shape and the face a little bit wide with a black outline, then I'm creating something inspired by that style, but not in that style exactly. So just have the characteristics line and then mix and mash them up. But again, if someone looks at it and go like, oh my God, it's like the Ghibli trend, you lost the AI fight, the IP fight. That's it.
Yeah.
In my very humble legal opinion.
Yeah.
And just by the way, none of this is legal advice.
No,
none
of us are lawyers.
Randomly guessing what may be true.
Yeah.
But I think the best legal non-legal advice is, if you doubt that this relates to something, then it probably does.
Yeah, and if you just ask yourself the question, like, will people buy this because of the correlation with the specific creator, and you say yes, and you answer yes to that, then don't list it.
Nice. We solved it. You guys solved it.
I think we have another question about ChatGPT in the crowd. Yeah.
Do you think that ChatGPT is still the best for this sort of thing? What do you mean with this sort of thing? Checking
AI designs?
I think he means POD designs.
I'm really liking ideogram. I did my test. I did my test for t-shirt designs, and it wasn't like a full-on test, but I did like the bracket thing, and then ideogram came up on top for me. For as far as creating a text or a prompt to create a full t-shirt design with text and everything, I think ChatGPT does great, like with graphics and stuff. But when it tries to put text within the graphics, it kind of gets mixed up sometimes, and then gets cut off a lot of times with ChatGPT, I've noticed. But
do you have the top 5 in mind? Like what were the best?
Yeah. So it was ideogram, playground, mystic, and dang it, those were the top 3. I forget what the top 5 were.
Not ChatGPT.
Oh, ChatGPT was the 4th one. Yeah, I think it was.
With the new model, right? 4.0?
Yeah, with 4.0. With 4.0. But it's still slow. It's kind of slow, and it's not as creative. Well, it can be creative depending on your prompts, but I was using simple prompts. So, yeah. What's that?
It's really slow.
Yeah.
Like the image creation is incredible. I honestly,
it's a lot slower now.
It's also like, the size of the image and the rate that it's going, because like I was working on some project that I'm working on, and I wanted to see like some logo sketches and stuff. So I basically tell it like, give me 3 AI prompts for ideogram for my logo, and then I just dump them on ideogram, and then for each one I do different ratio just to see how it would look if it's like vertical, horizontal, one-on-one, and then like I just pop these out like 9 at a
Yeah.
time. It will finish basically by the time that ChatGPT finishes one.
Yeah.
I think it's also like for me, I never use what I get from the AI in that sense. I just use it as inspiration to later recreate it. So depending on the complexity,
Right.
whether it's like with Canva or if I'm using it with Procreate. But seriously, if you tell ChatGPT that you're using ideogram and have him give you the AI prompts, that's the best results that I've seen so far. And that is even if I'm trying to like not just ChatGPT versus ideogram in the AI art scene, but if you ask ChatGPT to give you specific prompts for ideogram, it's better than specific prompts for Lexica or for Night Cafe or for all the others. It's
Interesting.
the same company, right? I mean, ideogram makes sense that they would work like better together.
Yeah, and I'm really liking ideograms bulk feature. I've been using that where I just put it all in a CSV file, and like within minutes it does like 4 times 20, right? For 100, and like
you can set it up and go make coffee.
Yeah, it's crazy fast and good. I love their vintage stuff. The kawaii stuff's pretty good too.
But June, have you
do that and have AI go and make us coffee?
There you go.
Yeah, but you know.
June,
have you tried MyDesigns a lot?
MyDesigns. Oh yes, I have. But they have a long list. They came in at the top 10, of course. And they have what I like about MyDesigns is they have a drop down of like all of the different models, right? So you can you can use GPT and you can use ideogram and you can use whatever Flex and whatever. So
have you used it a ton? Because like for me, I honestly like 21. I think it's like 20. Like since I started using it ever since Philip did a guest speaker call in our small community. I've started using it extensively, and literally every day I'm posting stuff on our merch through it. And but a big like data point that I think is good to know is that like I've created a lot of designs, but like 21% of all of my design like sales comes from just AI stuff.
Wow.
Purely made through MyDesigns. So I'm insanely like I'm flabbergasted by MyDesigns because of the power that it is.
Yeah.
But are you using it a lot? Or?
I'm not, but I what I really like about MyDesigns is one, like that drop down of all the different styles, and two, it's like integrated with like your process, right? So if you're already using MyDesigns to upload and do all those other stuff with POD, I think it's a great thing. So you don't have to go and switch back and forth between different things. So.
But MyDesigns has mostly the APIs from Ideogram and Flux, so they don't have their own AI. Or is it like that? I don't know MyDesigns.
Just like June said. Or go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, they don't have their own model as such. They just have lots of different ones built in. So you've got many of the Flux models, if not all of them. Then you have different versions of Ideogram. You have Recraft is in there, Imogen, DALL-E 3. As soon as the 401 has an API, I'm sure they'll also add it. So most of the things are there. So it's good for comparing, and you can also do things in bulk, which is quite nice.
Yeah, that's quite handy.
Yeah, really cool system.
One quick tip I wanted to give on the speed with ChatGPT. You could actually open in a separate tab. You can also open Sora, which is it's like tagged on the sidebar, at least for me.
I haven't tried it.
And Sora I think it's mainly meant for generating videos, but you can also generate images with it, and you can actually do 2 at a time.
Nice.
And they don't cancel each other out with like the rate limits. So you can have them running simultaneously and kind of speed up things a little bit.
All right. Do you have a video for that? Have you done one yet?
No.
Okay. I'll be watching.
Someone was asking if there is a video on how to make multiple designs at a time. June, I'm pretty sure you have one.
Yeah, I got one with ideogram.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys would have those.
Yeah, there's a video. I think you have one. Do you have one too, Philip?
Yeah, I have one for Ideogram and one for MyDesigns.
Yeah.
The MyDesigns is insanely powerful. You can create like 100 designs in like a couple minutes with just their parallel prompts.
Taking notes. Do a video for MyDesigns.
I think what I like about
maybe we should have like the people at home, as if we're not, ask what videos they want.
Yeah, give us ideas. I think the reason
for designs. Like I'm not using AI art for designs. Like I'm using it for like, if I'm writing a blog post and I need like an image to convey a message or like newsletters and stuff, I mostly use AI for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I'm either selling patterns that I've done, I don't know, 2-3 years ago with Procreate, or just things made with text on Canva. Like the most basic text, like 2-3 words.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like those stuff would still sell. So,
Yeah, that's a good point. Like traditional designs can also sell. It's not like you have to use AI.
I like mixing it up because sometimes I'm like, let's see what AI can do today. I don't want to go, and it comes up with some really cool stuff. And then other times I'm like, I just want to draw today and draw. So
I like, by the way, just asking it to create something.
Yeah.
Either because I want to sketch it or because I take like what it created in a certain style, and then you just upload it to Procreate, or in this case, even to Canva, and then it draws in the color palette from the AI design.
Wow.
So that is like I remember I used to do it with Kittle when they had the Art Deco option.
Yeah.
So the Art Deco makes amazing color palettes. Amazing. Wow. If anyone is selling Procreate assets, I actually sold Art Deco color palettes that I got the idea from AI.
That's really cool.
I think like one of the most powerful things with AI, like especially with MyDesigns and using like ChatGPT to get the prompt and then using MyDesigns to create it, is that you can create these wildly different design styles. Like let's say that you have one design style that is super popular here and one design style that is super popular here. Then you can combine those two within one and the same prompt and use MyDesigns, mainly like Ideogram and Flux, to actually like create it. And the stuff that MyDesigns create is just insanity, in my opinion. It looks so good. At least when I've used Ideogram and Flux.
I think I just should have Andreas on my channel to teach us about MyDesigns, and then I don't have. I like one thing I use MyDesigns for that I did recently is I'm starting a Shopify store with the help of Chris, and MyDesigns really helped me upload and put mock-ups on thousands of designs, which if I had to do that manually would have took forever, but it did it really quickly. So
that's a nice transition to a question someone asked earlier, which is directed at you. Do you recommend WeScale University? And this person wants to start Shopify. The prices are not the cheapest.
So WeScale has two versions. If you don't want to pay $150 a month, which I think it's not $150 right now. I think it's $125, and the prices go up by the 27th or so next week. But their university is great because you have tons of coaches, you have people helping, you can put comments and stuff. But if you're just starting out and don't want $150, they also have a WeScale free version that they just have that 31-hour tutorial. They still have people in there that you can, they're not the coaches, but there are other people that are in the free course, and you can kind of chat and back and forth. So that's another option that you can start with. And I love it because what I like about it is they kind of break it down, like do this first, step by step. And there's so many things that I'll do a video soon of what I changed on my site. But if you notice on my website, it's totally different now because I've been following like all the different steps. They have templates for the Shopify thing on there if you're in the university side. And it just makes everything so much easier than trying to figure out yourself. And then now I'm at the ads part of running ads on Facebook. And so I'm learning a lot and testing out on mockups and then figuring that out. So yes, so long story short, great resource if you're serious about Shopify, and if you don't have the money to start with the school, there is a free version that they do. So
nice. Yeah, that's it. That's a good summary. I've put the links in the chat for anyone who's new to this. It's Chris Heckman's community.
So well done. Everything's just, I'm very impressed on all the different videos that they have, and you can watch it, and I've been watching it in 2x speed or 1.5 speed just to kind of go through it. But yeah, he's super organized and good at taking knowledge and putting it into an easy to understand format, I think. And which is good because there's a lot of stuff that you have to learn with Shopify. It's not an easy thing to do, but that's probably one of the best places to learn it, I would say. Yeah, especially on my part, like the Facebook, there's so many things that they add on those Facebook ads. I'm like, if there was nobody telling me what to click on here, I would be so lost, because they just add so many extra things that you don't even need. So like the coach is like, don't click this, do this, click this. Like they tell you exactly what to do. So
have you actually been on the calls in there, or?
yeah, I've been on some of the calls, but the tutorials themselves that they have in the universities are just great, because you can kind of just watch it like a video and go back and forth. But if you have any questions, you can post that in the school community and people answer it. So
There's an interesting question on the Juna stream of this live from John. The last one, I'm guessing Juna can see it. Have you guys considered doing anything else other than POD with the help of AI? I'm personally doing shorts in YouTube with AI at the moment. So I would love to ask I would also want to ask you guys, what are you doing with AI other than print on demand?
A big thing for me, honestly, has been doing music stuff, like music video stuff, and exploring that kind of thing, music video content with just using Sora as AI. So I'm doing a lot of experimenting with that just to try it out. The hardest thing with it, though, is to find consistency in prompts. So let's say that you want to make a character and you have a full story outline. It's hard to get like one consistent characters, because you can only get like, unless you pay the $200 like subscription a month with ChatGPT, you can only make 10-second videos. But if you want to make another 10-second video, it's hard to get the same character in the next video. So that's the issue. But it's like the stuff that you can make, it looks real to an extent that feels surreal, so to speak. You can make anything, which like the only thing that really like is like that. This is really literally how I feel right now. Like the only thing that really limits the creativity, like living in 2025, is your own imagination. That's the only thing.
Yeah. Well, this is POD adjacent, but I've been making mock-ups with AI, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
Yeah, Mystic does a really good job. They have a tutorial for that, by the way, on WeScale. But I've been trying their Mystic POD to make mock-ups with T-shirts and flat lays with different things around it, and it's pretty powerful, pretty neat. So.
I was thinking to, like, for a new project of mine, I was sitting with a friend here and talking about wanting to start it. And apparently she started a job working for, I think they're called 11 Labs or something. They're supposed to have this like really cool AI tool for voice. So I was thinking, like, for a lot of the, like, if I want to do some reels and stuff, because, you know, when I'm filming, I'm not going to use an AI clone of my voice or even just an AI voiceover for pretty much anything, because, you know, for a tutorial, for stuff like that, I have a mic and everything. But if I just want to pop in the easy stuff, let's call it, for Instagram reels, and those usually have like lots of views, literally just film with your phone like 8 seconds of the mountain or something and say something for 8 seconds. So in that case, it would be much easier for me to use that AI cloning my voice rather than just recording my voice in terms of the quality that it will come out.
Wow.
Because, you know, if I'm going to record it, I'm going to do it on my phone. I don't know. I feel like that will be much easier. And that AI, I just looked at it a little bit now. But that AI can also create sound effects. So like you can type in like cowbells in the rain with birds chirping in the background. And I do know, like, I have a lot of friends from like who do like filmography and stuff like that. Even when they take the camera and they go outside to shoot rain with cowbells, they actually use sound on top of that, even in movies, because the sound that we hear is not the same sound that is captured. And even when I, like, you know, film outside and there's cows and everything, there's also a truck of the farmer passing by and dogs barking and stuff. So I was really looking forward to playing around with that for a new project that I'm working on. But I think, like, for me, that question is pretty much, I mostly use my AI for non-print on demand stuff. Yeah, I mostly like to do it like for some newsletters and stuff. If I want to write something really quick, and for like asking it a question, or contemplating an idea with a different idea, or asking it to give me a pros and cons list on a specific idea, or for fun stuff like based on our conversations, roast me and stuff like that. which is always funny. But I think like there are so many different things that we can do with it. I've even been doing like book outlines for some books that I want to write, or even putting my ideas for the book and trying to refine them. So I think like, I don't know, for me, it's like, I really enjoyed like the phase of making designs with AI for print on demand, but I always reverted back to either creating stuff with Procreate or just simple text and just using the AI for the fun stuff. Like not the fun stuff, but like the stuff that isn't the biggest creativity for me. Like the idea for me needs to stay mine, but the execution, fine. Let him rewrite a paragraph that I wrote because I'm not sure how to write things, or I don't want to think right now. Or the AI voice that I'm really looking forward to explore, but mostly, I don't know. I think I'm the least using it for print on demand at the moment. It's
So
just
you're
use
using
cases.
there's so much the stuff that you can do. I do use it for print on demand, for example, if I want some like weird catchphrases and stuff.
I use it for that too.
So you use your
What is
voice.
your best catchphrase that you got from AI? What is the funniest one?
What's the funniest one?
Yeah.
Well, so there was this challenge at the WeScale thing. Sorry to go back to that, but they had us design different things for different people just for fun. You could sign up for it. It wasn't mandatory, but I love designing. So somebody said, do an English design. I'm like, what is an English design?
Angry English?
It's like broken English. So there's a trend or a niche for that out there. And then, so I'm like, I don't know what to, so I asked ChatGPT to write some English designs, and it did. And it was so funny. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. It's like broken English that doesn't make sense. Like grammatically, the sentence doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I can pull some up.
It sounds really a lot like South Park's, like a South Park stuff, like when it comes to Asian accents.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the Chinese guy from the restaurant.
Yeah,
exactly. like
slightly
that
offensive, but very funny.
Or like that whole episode when they do, when they have a Black Friday Banduru.
Yeah, exactly like that.
I kind of really want to see South Park right now.
South Park is amazing.
Yeah. So it can do anything. ChatGPT can do. Like, oh wow, these are funny. Yeah.
I like using it for Latin stuff. Like the whole cogito ergo sum, which is like I think therefore I am. So I was just like, okay, give me a bunch of those. So I actually have a T-shirt that says cogito ergo dormio, which means I think therefore I nap.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Yeah, I have also memento mori ergo pizza. Like remember that one day you will die. So
pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah,
or
that's what it wrote. It wrote things like that.
Yeah, so I think like just I feel like in that space, if we go like back to the IP thing, if you see something funny, just tell ChatGPT to do something similar. So like I saw a bunch of T-shirts that were making fun of it, so I put in the premise of why this is funny and told him take the same premise but to this niche and to this style, and that way you create something that is kind of yours. But
yeah,
maybe we should do like a full live ones that we just do like ChatGPT roasting us and stuff, because I'm pretty sure ChatGPT has a lot of information about you.
That's true. I'm gonna do it right now. Can you roast me? Wait.
After you do the roast, the funniest thing you can do, tell ChatGPT, based on all of our interactions, think that I'm a Marvel villain and give me my origin story.
Oh wow!
That's the thing that you can do with ChatGPT.
That's a cool one. Okay, I
that or write your Tinder profile as a pirate.
Back to the pirate again.
Pirates, but yeah.
That's so fun.
We had that April Fool's thing where we should just go on air and just
we were gonna do an April Fool's podcast, but April Fools, we didn't do it.
I ruined it.
All of you that we're moving to a cow ranch and we're like retiring. We're gonna grow ducks.
Don't give it away. We'll do it next year.
Oh, that's right.
We also wanted to fool people that everybody got kicked out of merch or got tiered up. I think I'm the only person not on merch here, right?
Oh, you're the oddball in that sense.
Yeah.
I'm on KDP. I'm technically on Amazon. I just got
making fun of people not getting a tier up. That's a very serious concern.
Yeah. We actually had a question about Amazon merch.
How many tries did you take? Oh, that's a good one. It took me 2 tries to get it,
Oh,
but it was
okay.
back in
Oh.
2017 where everybody got in. So
But that's interesting. I thought back then, like you just got in first try with
Mhm.
anything.
I had to try twice.
Oh.
I was like everybody, like, oh man, I didn't get in, and then I was listening to someone say you can try multiple times. I'm like, really? And so I tried again, and it took 6 months.
Finding people back then.
Yeah, it also took me 6 months before I got the answer back from Amazon
Oh.
back then. So I like applied in 2016, like in Q4, and I didn't get accepted till 2017, either May or June or something like that, I think.
For me, it took 4 months, but 10 applications.
Whoa.
10
It was shorter for me,
Yeah.
but more applications.
Wow.
How did you apply 10 times? in
Yeah, you
4
have to use this
Different emails.
a different email address. Yes.
Mhm.
Damn.
I mean, dude, they know it's the same person. You're using the same IP. I mean, they have ways of tracking
Yeah,
it.
sure.
Yeah,
I
they
used
just
everything. Everything was the same. Name, address, everything.
You gotta play
Just a
Amazon's
different
games
email
to get
address.
into Amazon. So
Yeah,
I
I think that's the first test that they give you.
yeah, does this guy really want it? Is he gonna
Yeah.
try 10 times?
Yeah.
I do actually have like some up-to-date news about that stuff because like me personally, I got in like on my first try.
Wow.
I think I like applied in like January of like 2022, and then I sent an email to just check like in like May or April, just check like how the application is going. And then when I did that, they actually approved me directly. And I have a student who did the exact same thing this year, so this specific year in 2025, and he got in like a month ago or so. So yeah, I think he applied in like January or February. He then sent I think it was in January, and then he sent an just like me an email just to see how the application is going in like March, and then he actually got approved instantly, just like I did actually.
They want to know if you're serious. See, it's back to the
Yeah,
this guy's
and
serious.
that's actually like this year. So if you've like ever sent an application and it's gone like 1 or 2 months, send an email and see how it's going. For me and my student, for both of us, we both got in through that.
Yeah. Well, I asked, so I saw a comment here that said if Juno was rejected, but I actually know a professional t-shirt designer. I told him about Amazon. I'm like, this is so cool. He sold t-shirts on Shopify and did really well. And I'm like, yeah, just apply. They'll accept you. I'm sure they'll accept you. You're a professional. You have thousands of sales and rejected him. So I'm like, oh, I guess it doesn't matter. Talent doesn't matter too much, but
There it is.
Yay. That's who got in.
That's who got in. His name is Philip.
Congrats.
Hey, awesome to see you, Philip.
Someone was curious about you. By the way, it took me one attempt. Around the same time when
he was like waiting to say that. By the way, just
when right around the same time Daniel got in. So like it's not dependent on the time as well. Sometimes people say nowadays everyone has to apply multiple times, but I've also heard stories of people now getting in first try.
Wow.
And for Daniel, it was 2019. It took him 10 attempts, whereas for me, it took 1 attempt in the same year. But yeah, someone was asking this directed at you, Daniel, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now it makes me wonder how did those 10 application forms look like and what did you try? Yeah, well, basically you fill out your details, your name, address, and something, and I think a phone number. And then you have this little box where you can include your portfolio if you sell on other platforms like Spreadshirt. I sold at Spreadshirt at that time. And then you fill out your application text, and it was quite short and simple. It was something like, I'm a successful Spreadshirt seller, and now I want to sell my designs on the world's biggest marketplace. And I kept it very, very short. And also I saved this text on my computer so I can use it over and over again. I think I changed it a bit. And but I really think it's just based on pure luck if you get accepted or not.
I also wouldn't overthink it, like what you put in there.
Yeah.
I mean, it might matter a bit, but I can't imagine someone at Amazon reading all the applications that they get sent. It's probably
especially now, which I'm pretty sure they have a bot doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think like
if drama in the chat, someone got dumped because they made sales on Amazon.
But I also think like since one thing that both work for me and Philip, that's also in here in watching the live. Like if you like applied and it's gone like 1 or 2 months, send them like an email saying how's the application going. Yeah, like because at least for me and Philip, both of us like first time appliers, we actually got in once that actual reply got replied to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I would also say if it's taking ages to get a response, don't wait around like Juno for half a year. It's more important you apply again.
Why did it do that?
If you can do.
Don't follow my example, guys.
And definitely don't overthink it. The sooner you apply, the better, even if it's not a perfect application.
Yeah, and apart from that too, like if you don't get in, there's always different avenues. Like I made most of my money on Etsy, and you can also do Shopify if that suits you better.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also like focus on different avenues if you don't get into merch.
Correct.
To get back to AI, I saw a question earlier about Playground. So what are your thoughts on Playground? Is it better having that than paying ChatGPT Pro?
Actually,
I know what you're going to say.
Stay tuned because Playground's going to announce an update soon. You didn't hear
today,
from me.
isn't it? I think
it's today. Yeah. And it may or may not have anything to do with ChatGPT Pro 4.0.
You really need to start to like not spill the tea too much.
I'm gonna get banned from.
Yeah, Juna's always giving away the secrets.
You didn't hear it first here. Wait till the announcement in a few.
One day we're all gonna say something that's gonna get us in trouble with some company.
No, I think as long as I don't show what it does. But
if you ever
video coming soon,
just let me know. I have a lot of experience.
Video coming soon.
If Juna ever disappears, he's gone to prison because of either Kittle or a Playground. But no, there is. I mean, what's better in this case? I think like there's no best tool for POD. Yeah. It depends
what's for yourself, right? Like for your
like
style.
Playground's advantage, I think, is that it has a lot of templates already. So if it's very beginner friendly.
Yes.
Whereas if you're using ChatGPT Pro, you don't have any templates, right? You're starting out from scratch with a prompt.
Yeah. ChatGPT Pro is made as an overall art or whatever you use it for. It does everything, right? You can do the prompts and whatever.
Yeah.
But Playground is made specifically, they're kind of gearing it towards now print on demand and t-shirts and stickers and all that whole list of stuff that they have on their homepage, right? That's what that AI is geared towards. So I think it can, like you said, it's very beginner friendly, whereas ChatGPT is kind of an open box where you can ask it and make this and that and whatever. So it's different models for the AI.
Both of them can create designs that sell.
Yes.
So if that's the goal, I mean, they both do it.
Yeah.
It also depends on your budget. How much does Playground cost? Playground is $12 a month.
Yeah. But you can start for free, right? Isn't there a free version where you get so many a day or something?
Exactly. Yeah. It's 10 images every 3 hours. It says now on the free plan with commercial use. So that's another point. Like can you use? I've heard that the new 4.0 model is also in the free version of ChatGPT, but I'm not
sure that you can do graphics for free. I think you can ask ChatGPT questions for free.
No. You can do. I don't pay ChatGPT.
Oh, and you can do graphics.
Yeah.
Okay. They changed it then. I know a while back that
it wasn't available, but you can do it, and also now you can also upload your own stuff. Ooh. Like you can upload an image as a reference point as well.
Yeah, and Playground does that too. You can upload a reference.
Honestly, I'm not paying ChatGPT because if I would pay ChatGPT, I would never work.
If you're like, I gotta get my
make things in order to make things, but never actually make the things.
Yeah,
so it's impossible.
Yeah. It's just fun. I'm just paying for fun. Playing to Playground. No.
Look, I think we've all done the print on demand thing for far long, that we can just decide for the next few months, we just want to have fun.
Yeah. That's fun. Let me try.
I mean, that's the whole point of having passive income, right?
Yeah.
So you can take like a month or two and say,
yeah,
not really.
Ooh, that's a nice transition to.
Are we transitioning?
Good transition.
Not that transition.
I didn't transition on purpose.
This is This is like a motivation question. So how do you stay motivated after making very little sales? I have proof I can do it, but we're talking less than £50 with over 200 designs, etc. Thank you. And that is one of the motivating factors, I think. If you've already proven to yourself that you can do it, every new design that you add that starts to sell, it adds to your baseline, right? So eventually you get to the point where you've got a passive income that stays with you, sticks with you. Like May just said, you take a month break and nothing much changes. So that's the big motivating factor for me, or definitely was at the beginning, that I kind of know, like the work I'm putting in now, it kind of stays there with me. It doesn't just disappear if I stop. Also the Q4 effect, that's always very motivating for me. Like right now, a lot of the designs that you're uploading, they might not really have much of an effect, especially not immediately if you're doing evergreen designs. But that kind of stuff, it often pays off in Q4 when people are really, really interested in evergreen shirts. And then what tends to happen, or what has happened for me over the past few years, is after you have the current kind of average sales that you get throughout the month, then you have a spike for Q4, and the next year it kind of drops to a new baseline. You're a little bit higher than the last year in terms of baseline sales. That's always the motivate. But that Q4 effect, like it only happens if you stay consistent throughout the year. If you stop at 200 designs, it's less likely that you get to that. But you work, the point I'm trying to make is your work that you're putting in right now, which doesn't feel like it's giving you much progress, it often tends to pay off through Q4 and then help you in the next year moving forward as well.
Yeah, and
you can say that it's actually a lot of progress. If you made 200 designs and most of them didn't sell, then great. You now know 195 things that won't sell.
Try something
like
new.
every no is your way to a yes. So I do know, like, for example, I'm not on merch, but when I was constantly uploading to TeePublic, I think Philip, we talked about it last time, that I was like, I had like clusters of things that kind of sell. So whenever I sell something on TeePublic, I usually try to go into that product from like incognito or something, and then see what other stuff are being recommended. And then I kind of take, obviously not the same phrase if it's copyright or something, but the same concept or the same combination. So if the niche that I sold to is puzzles, and the bottom image that is being shown are like 3 of them are puzzles and cats, then I'll make designs about puzzles and cats. And my goal is to be the recommended to myself. So whatever sells, those are things that I'm not talking about the things that, you know, it's your own niche and you're like marketing it externally, just flat out marketplace stuff. If something sells, I make loads of it, and I make the things that are related to it in the same scheme. Now, if it doesn't sell, I don't care. We have a phrase in Hebrew, launch and forget. That's literally the mindset, because if you're going to fall in love with your designs, or if you're going to think that this is the best thing ever, or if you're going to have expectations, you've already lost the mind game. You just upload and forget about it. Let it remind you that it exists. And when it reminds you that it exists, go ahead. Whether that lesson is that people like that niche, whether the lesson is that people like the color palette, that people like the presentation, that you did something good with your SEO, and eventually you will understand what you did right or what went wrong. But 200 designs on a game like Amazon, unless, again, we're talking about being very targeted. When I was doing Redbubble for years and I was making loads of money, that was with 20 designs, but I was running blogs and sending traffic. That's a different game. If all you do is running a numbers game, 200 is nothing. So just upload more. This didn't sell, don't upload stuff that look like that. The minute something sells, do the peripheral thing. Tags, upload things with similar niche, similar phrases. Or if you cross niche in a design, pizza and cats, pizza and unicorns, unicorns and puppies, unicorns and puzzles. Work on these on a niche that sells and develop them more. And no shouldn't be something that you even hear. And if you think about it, I don't know, does Amazon merch send you an email when you get a sale?
No.
No, but you can get a dashboard and see what you made every day, which is really nice.
So if you look at, for example, Redbubble, who I used to send those, I don't know what they do now, but Redbubble sends you an email, you sold something. They don't send you an email, you didn't sell anything today. So that's it. Make a design, put it up there, forget about it, and then do the stuff that sell or do more new ideas. Notice stuff that are going on in terms of, I feel like a lot of people, when they do research for these things, they try to find their motivation from what other people are designing, what other people are recommending, even YouTubers, obviously. But how about just going out there and noticing that one of your friends is wearing a cool shirt? Or just asking yourself, what I want to wear today. If you wake up every morning designing the t-shirt of your dreams every day, I'm pretty sure you would sell something within a year of 365 designs. That's my 2 cents.
No, I love it. I think that's great advice. Follow the data, figure out what works and do more of it, and then try other things and then find out what works with that. And I think you're right with the scale thing, though. It'd be an interesting question. How many designs do you have up right now out of all of us? Because I bet we have thousands and thousands of designs, right?
I have the thing of I delete the things that I don't like, or after I change the style. I'm very self-critical.
Oh.
And I also I would delete a lot of the stuff that don't work. Like I just don't want it around there. I don't want it messing up my ROI. So, and also I've I don't think I uploaded anything to TeePublic in months. Like I haven't really been on that. But for Spoonflower, for example, that would be like the easiest thing, because
that's fun.
In Spoonflower, you have I don't know if all of you know that.
That's patterns, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's patterns, and the biggest take, like it's fabrics and fabric items. So they have, I think, 40 or 50 types of fabrics that you can order. And then they have fabric items like curtains and pillows and stuff. They're the most expensive that I've seen so far. But the whole thing about them is that the designs are also kind of placed together if they match, or if you make them be together. That's called colorway. So let's say I did a design of some kind of nautical theme. I don't know. I'm just throwing, dolphins in blue, and it sells. I can literally create that same design, just change the hue to pink, and I can upload it so that it will appear next to it.
Wow.
Together. So people will see that you have the same pattern in different colors. So if I see that something is selling on Spoonflower, I would either
more of the same.
Another colorway, or with Spoonflower, when you upload a pattern, you decide how let's call it zoomed in or zoomed out you want the pattern to be. So usually I would have 2 options or 3 options. I would upload 3 times and
test it.
I would have 3 options of how zoomed in and out it is. And once one of them sells, I add 2 more zoom in and zoom out options just to have the biggest scope of things. Or just look at the specific tags of what's sold and just do more of that. But I feel again, that also relates to a platform where people follow you. I don't know how it goes with merch by Amazon, but I don't think that people get, I get notifications all the time from Spoonflower that people are following my shop.
We don't get
that.
So you can pretty much see that. And also if you go to the people who follow you, you can see what their favorites are. And then
that's nice.
Make something in a similar color palette or stuff like that. I also know a lot of surface designers or pattern designers. If you go to Pinterest and type in anything relating to your niche or the niche that you're designing for, notice the color palette of the most attractive pins, or the pins that come on top, and use the same color palette as the pin for the design itself. So
following the data, see?
Yeah. I feel maybe I never got discouraged from these things because I love data. And there is always more data to get out there. So if you don't get internal data from your sales, search for data outside. The minute you get a sale, that's when you start making data internal. And I feel one, you have to enjoy doing it. Otherwise, it's a waste of time for most people, unless you're going to put in budgets and you're going to be the best designer and you'll know how to create the most targeted ads. And in that case, it's just math. So unless you're going to do that, unless you are that, you need to enjoy it a little bit. If you design things that you like yourself, or, think about it this way. Open up Facebook pretty much every day now. By the time, I don't know how many friends we all have on Facebook, pretty much every day you'll get a notification that it's someone's birthday. So I'm designing it for them. But
there you go.
How many games you can play in your head with this design?
Motivated. Yeah.
And I feel because AI made things so simpler. If you think about it, we would spend hours on a design, sometimes even days. It depends on the type of design you want to do. And you would actually live the process and enjoy the process. And yes, we made less designs, far less designs in a time. But I think like if you're making so many designs at the same time and you're uploading all of them, your brain is kind of thinking, "Ooh, I should be getting paid by now." But the platform is not putting things in an algorithm as fast as AI is creating them. And I feel like when we were doing things just one at a time, regardless of saturation and competition, none of that. It's all here. If you make one design a day, you're not thinking, I'm going to make so much money in 2 weeks. But I don't know. I feel like it's just find a way to keep your mind occupied on something else, because motivation for me is the last thing I need. Like there is nothing that motivates me to do it other than the fact that I enjoy doing that thing. Otherwise, I think we all kind of enjoy doing it, right? I don't think any of us.
If the money's the motivation factor, that's tough, because like in the beginning, it wasn't like you would give up a lot sooner because you're like, I didn't get paid a lot in the first few months, right? So
I just designed stuff because I liked seeing stuff that I wanted. And then a friend of mine saw it and she was like, oh, can you do something for me? It was just like having fun. And I feel like, again, the more people come into this just thinking about the money, that's why you lose motivation, because it's not actually going to come so much. You do need, unless you put in a lot of money, targeted ads, the best market research for designs, and you're an expert, which, by the way, if you're that much of an expert, you can make money from pretty much anything. If it's a numbers game and a math game, you can make money from everything. If you don't love this specific thing, I'm not saying that, oh, just forget about everything. There's so many different things you can do online as well. And I feel like a lot of times, if you take a step back from a marketplace point of view and you look at it from a higher hierarchy of having content about a certain topic, and from that content you break down having printables or having service or having print-on-demand items or having books or whatever, then if one piece of the pie doesn't make money, you either try to perfect that or you have different aspects of this that make money as well. So it's either don't think about motivation, it's not relevant, just enjoy what you do and do it for fun, or think about the hierarchy of where is this going to add up in. Like Amazon merch shouldn't be your thing. I do believe so many people make money full-time from that. But I would never aim for that to be like my life's purpose, to just make money from that, which is why it will never be demotivating if I won't sell.
And I think a lot of people, well, I don't know in this case, but I've heard some other people say that, they think that how many designs do I need before I get paid? And it's not really it is a numbers game after you figure out what's working, but it's not just putting up 100 designs and thinking that you're going to get X amount of dollars for those designs. You have to create something that people want to actually buy or want first, and figure that out first, instead of trying to just push 100, 200, 300 designs. Yeah. So I don't know if that's the case, but that's needs to be figured out first. So
you have to get the experience.
Yeah.
The first designs are always terrible. And the first 2 years I didn't make that much money. So it took me 2 years. Yeah, 2 years to get a significant amount of money. Yeah. And I would always advise to start print on demand as a side business besides your main job, because at the beginning you won't make much money, and you don't need to expect that money. So just get the experience, learn to design, learn what makes a good design, even in the day and age of AI. And that's the most important thing.
Those first 100, 200 designs are practice to figure out what's working.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
To May's point as well, I think the reason why it's so important that you actually enjoy the thing is because what we're talking about right now, this phase of like trying stuff and nothing seems to work, it exists in every business. Like, yes, you might find it a different idea and it seems really appealing on the surface because there are people succeeding in it. Every business has that phase at the beginning where you have to learn a lot and you have to try and you will fail and then you won't really make much money. Like unless you're breaking the rules in some way, or like May said, you have a lot of budget to invest into marketing, you're not going to get quick results in almost every business that you start. So if you're already enjoying print on demand and you have passion that brings you to this, that's a big advantage. Because everything else you see, all the big numbers associated with other business models, they all come with that really annoying, like frustrating first year, right? For most people, it's around a year. It differs for everyone, but you don't really get around that.
You
Yeah,
don't
like
need to have passion for print on demand. Just have passion for the niche that you're talking about. Kind of like, if you like, let's say drop the passion for print on demand. Say you're passionate about playing chess, and you make a few chess designs for Amazon merch. Okay, make something public, make patterns, find a way to create like cinematic chess stuff and put them on display. To just have fun with your niche rather than just it being print on demand. Make videos about chess. Do all of
I just think like the key thing, at least for me, has always been to just get perspective, like the correct perspective on this whole thing. And the way that did it for me was to understand that every business, kind of like Philip said, has a process. It's that you think it's this Dunning-Kruger effect, but basically you think of an opportunity like POD, and it's super good. Like you can work anywhere you want, with whom you want to, and any time you want to, which is really neat. Then you get into POD and you understand, okay, this is a lot of work, but I can probably make this work. And then you're in the like notorious valley of despair, and nothing is working. And just to preface, I have a whole video coming out about this, but like I was in this part for like the better part of like 1 to 2 years with Etsy, and like nothing is working. You're trying everything, you're doing, but you're trying so many different things, and you're putting like a lot of effort and not seeing the results. And the key thing to know is that like this is not a job, so you don't get paid for the hours. Like someone can make one design, like get a lot of money for that with POD, and spend like an hour on that, or like 5 minutes on that. Someone else can spend 2 years on something and not get anything for it, because you're compensated towards the value that you're providing, not towards any time. So the key thing to know is that once you're in the valley of despair, you need to push through. But the key thing to know too is that you need to reflect on the progress. So like if you've made 200 designs, then it probably isn't the answer to just make more designs. The answers could probably lies in like reflecting on how everything is going, what worked, what did not work, and then iterating going forward. Once you do that a bunch of times and you learn what works, you do more of the things that work, you do less of the things that doesn't work, you slowly like go towards this upward slope where things actually start working. And that then at a certain point, and again, this can take about 1 to 2 years, that's as it did for me. I have a whole video coming up about this, where I literally show you my Etsy journey. And you can really see that nothing is working for like the longest time. And then you see that I hit something at a certain point in like 2023, and it goes like really, really, really well. And I earn 30 to 50K a month with a 20% net margin. So it's doing super, super well. The key thing to know is that the valley of despair is something that we have to conquer. You can't be conquered by the dip or like the valley of despair. So if you're in that, just push through, make sure to reflect on the stuff that you're doing, do more of the stuff that you're doing, and iterate on the progress. But the key part is to not just do more.
Yeah, I like that, because I also like that you said it takes years, because I think a lot of people are unrealistic. They see people like, hey, I made this in 2 weeks, and I made this in 3 months, and they think that that's the average, and that's definitely not the average. It does take years. Those are just outliers that did it, and,
yeah,
make
100%.
a good story. But
and like for Amazon merch, I was on Amazon. Like when I did Etsy, I also did Amazon merch on the side. But like for a full year, I basically was from like, it took me a full year to get to tier 1000 and to actually get ads. Once I was in there, I could actually scale it with ads. But honestly, it took a full year to get to that point. And in that year, kind of like what Daniel said there, I didn't really earn much at all. Like I was just struggling to get that up. I focused on Etsy. I was a bit different because I was like all in on Etsy, and I lived off of $500 to $1,000 a month for like a full year. But I was all in on this Etsy POD thing. And Amazon merch didn't really give me anything that first year. It gave me really until I actually got access to ads. That's when it started to skyrocket. But it took a full year to get to that point. So yeah,
that's awesome. I wanted to mention one thing. Oh, sorry.
I was just going to say it's clear that we like talking mindset and motivation. We've been going on about one question for like half an hour.
Yeah.
But the final thoughts by Juna.
Final thought by Juna. So you mentioned that every year there's a bump with the Q4 and the thing, but I wanted to mention like the difference too that I saw is sometimes I do a lot of trending stuff, which is great. That can give you a lot of good sales. But if that trend ends, you won't see that sale year after year, right? So be smart about adding in some evergreens in there, because those evergreens every year could get you some sales, but trends may get you some quick fun sales for a little while, but once that trend's done, the next year you won't get them. So you may not see that bump like Philip was saying in the beginning that goes up and up and up. So.
Unless you're in tier 10 and you need the sales, you need to tier up.
Yeah.
Trends are the kind of thing where you design 100 things and then a week later you go back to square one. You basically have zero design because the trend is already done. Yeah. So that's a very important point. Yeah. A question that came earlier, not really a question, but a comment about learning English and all the info about this is in English. I noticed recently you can now you can change the YouTube player to a different language. So they've implemented AI into YouTube to translate everything live for you. Wow. It's pretty awesome. You should try it out, like listen to yourself in German or French or something. It's pretty fun.
I'll have to.
So if anyone's struggling to understand us, you can change it. I was wondering recently why like people were commenting "merci beaucoup" underneath my videos, and that's probably why.
That's why I've seen that too.
Yeah, have you?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So test that out. It should be in the settings of your video player.
That's really
on
cool.
YouTube.
I'm gonna have to watch you guys in different languages.
No idea how accurate it is, but
I will test myself in German.
There you go.
Yeah, which is pretty strange. I did that as well.
I actually tested it, but it's not my voice.
Exactly. Yeah,
it's a different voice. Unfortunately, it would be cool if it was my voice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're working on it, I'm sure.
Didn't we like check a call with Ryan Hogue and Chris Heckman in Thai?
Yeah. He said. Yeah,
we did that.
And it sounded like Ryan, but it didn't sound like Chris, right?
Yeah. It was insane to see that.
Then we also had multiple questions asking about platforms. So I'm looking for platforms where I can sell my designs. Can you give me information about the best platforms right now? And there was another one about first-time PODer. Where should you experiment? What's the best platform to start out on, basically?
I bet everybody has a different answer, but I can tell you mine.
Go for it.
I like TeePublic just because it's user-friendly and it's really easy to upload stuff quickly. There's not a lot of moving parts. The downside of TeePublic is like it's really hard to know what's selling besides looking on their site and kind of figuring that out. There's no like real good app that tells you like design this or design this, and there's a lot of copyright infringement. But if you want to get into it, I think everybody's accepted for free, and you can play around with it and learn pretty easily on there. But and it has a decent traffic, not Amazon, Etsy traffic, or Shopify traffic that you have to put on your own, but it has decent organic traffic.
A lot of millennials too.
Yeah.
I feel like in a lot of the times when I look at some of the designs, it's like a lot of the stuff that are targeting, even like the design jokes would be like targeting either a generation or a group of people that generally don't have money.
Yeah.
So I find like, especially like 80s jokes and stuff like that.
80s hit, yeah.
Yeah. So anything like,
80s, 90s.
Millennial, half Gen X, half millennial will work great on TeePublic, even though they have a lot of Gen Zers. But I think like from what I've seen with Gen Zs, it's mostly either the political stuff, like the protest merch, stuff like that, which I'm less into. So more just some random, like I think I had for a very long time, I think it was just like roller skates. Or even I don't know. Well, you're not girls, but there used to be these like little hair clips that are like little butterflies.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, that was. I think it was like when I just started with TeePublic. Like I had a bunch of designs like that, and they sold for a while. When they stopped selling, I pretty much took them off. But those were selling for a while as well, with millennial jokes and anything relating to basically 80s, or creating something that is sort of a Tamagotchi but not a Tamagotchi.
Right. Careful with that IP infringement stuff we talked
about.
Yeah,
but even with the Tamagotchi, you still have a lot of artificial animals in a device that is not a Tamagotchi.
That's right.
That's when you know it's outside of the scope. Yeah.
Yeah. digital animals, pets.
So go for it.
I do think TeePublic is definitely a good one to start with as like an easy way to get into it because it's very user friendly.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also think the potential is a lot lower than on your Etsy, Amazon
Absolutely,
marketplace.
less traffic than those.
So that is definitely a big one. You can sell decent numbers on there, but I think it's a lot more rare. Like I think you do all right in there, Juno. You do May, but I haven't seen many examples of people that do similar numbers to what you see in Amazon merch quite regularly or Etsy quite regularly. So that's something to bear in mind there. Amazon is obviously the biggest marketplace, so there's a ton of potential there, but then you also start on tier 10, so you're quite limited initially. So that's a big downside, I guess, for anyone starting compared to Etsy, where you can test more quickly, more easily. But then on Etsy, again, you have to pay to test,
it's not free.
Pay to play. So every marketplace has their pros and cons. I think Etsy and Amazon have the biggest potential alongside Shopify, but obviously that's kind of
it's a different thing
route to the marketplace.
Yeah.
And I just like when it comes to this, I think the most important thing about all of this is just to know that whether you choose Shopify or you choose Etsy or Amazon merch, I think the key thing is to understand that you can only diversify and focus on different like avenues once you're at a point where you've actually like mastered one of them. Because Juna touched on something that's not that talked about when it comes to Shopify, especially with Shopify POD, and that's that there are so many moving parts that we don't even see when it comes to like Shopify. So for instance, let's say that someone makes a like with Etsy, for instance, one of the biggest issues that they've had as a platform is that there are a lot there is a lot of frauds and stuff like that that's happening on the platform. And if you are the owner of the Shopify store, you have to deal with that whole bucket of poop, so to speak. So that and plus apart from that too, a big thing when it comes to like marketplaces compared to Shopify that I hear a lot is that like if Etsy or Amazon takes away your account, you're kind of screwed, which is definitely like the case. However, if like Facebook ads were a lot cheaper back in 2015 compared to they are now in 2025. So just as much as we are regulated by the marketplaces, a Shopify brand is regulated basically by how the meta ads are working, because that's the main thing that they use. So just keep in mind, there's no like saving grace here. And with Shopify, you have a lot of moving parts, just like Yuna said, with Facebook ads plus the Shopify brand, and you are the actual like owner compared to Etsy, where Etsy is the owner, which gives you a lot of more responsibilities. But the key thing to know is whether you choose Shopify, Amazon, or Etsy, just focus on one until you actually master it. Like for me, that was getting to 7 figures in revenue and then diversifying and focusing on diversifying. But you can't really diversify unless like one of these avenues are overflowing with profits, so to speak.
It takes a lot of focus to get a thing going. And so if you're trying to split your focus into 2 or 3 things at the same time, you won't get very far. You need to focus all your energy on the one thing you want to grow and watch it get it to grow.
Because either of them can really work. It's just important to really focus on one.
Yeah. And they have the most potential because they have the most potential for traffic to Etsy and Amazon, like huge traffic, and Shopify, you're driving the traffic. So I think that's really the big key if you want to like scale it up to something huge. Like TeePublic, you'll get, a few sales and kind of learn stuff. But if you really want to scale it and do 6-7 figures kind of stuff, those 3 are probably the ones to do it. So
I think I'm coming from a different niche again. Like for example, either surface pattern creators or the ones who are doing digital art. So what I do know that a lot of them did, regardless, it doesn't matter if it's Shopify, Etsy, or other print-on-demand marketplaces, is that what they would use as their baseline would pretty much be their Instagram account, for example, where they post their art. And every time that they posted something on Instagram, that is after that they posted it in their Shopify store, in their Etsy store, in their public store, in Displayed, whatever. And basically what you have on the link in bio is just, a links page to shop all of their stuff, like everywhere that they're selling. And then after a while, they started to see based on like what platform is selling more, because a lot of the times it's also a matter of location. Because some people do feel more comfortable to buy, for example, under the Etsy brand. Some people feel more comfortable buying from Imprint because it's made in the US, and it's right now they have like a sale specifically. So even if you're selling on different marketplaces, you can, for example, say, oh, this week, by the way, Imprint is doing free shipping, or this week, Redbubble is discounting mugs and stuff like that. And basically that one place that they would do it would be on Instagram. But again, that goes to the two different things that you're trying to do. Are you trying to take one platform, do different types of design, different types of niches, or do you have the same niche gathered somewhere on one website, on one social, and then you spread out the designs which are identical to each other on multiple platforms that you're selling it on? That's more what I see in my area. For example, like people who used to sell on Society6 and at the same time on Imprint, on Displate, on Spoonflower, depending again on what they're selling. But
and like one thing that I really want to add to it, that just came to mind when you said a brand there, May, was that like when it comes to brand, like people associating like what you do and what you sell with the thing that with like your website. Building a brand takes like a real brand. If we think like if you measure like Amazon and Etsy, like Amazon in the beginning was a bookstore, and like they then expanded later on. But like Etsy started in like 2005 to create a viable brand and use like that as a metric to understand that you really want to build a brand, so to speak. I think the key thing to understand is that the brand game is a 20-year game if you really want to make a brand, so to speak, because like the people that actually have brands, generally they've done the stuff that they do, and they do basically a couple things. Like Etsy does Etsy, Amazon does Amazon, but you get that kind of brand recognition and brand awareness. That effect like really comes into play when people are playing 20-year games. It doesn't happen in a year, not in 5 years. In my experience, at least, when it comes to, or like what I've seen when it comes to like brands, it takes a long time to really create a brand. And when we're under the Etsy umbrella and when we're under the Amazon umbrella, like I buy myself a lot of stuff from Amazon here in Sweden. And I feel really comfortable doing that just because it's Amazon. Like everybody knows Amazon. And it's hard to state how important that stuff is. And like building a brand, building trust with someone takes a long time and a lot of money to do. So it's important to know that being under the Etsy umbrella or the Amazon umbrella is a major thing that you can actually, like, that makes it a lot easier for someone to actually purchase in the first place.
It makes it easier for people to purchase from you before you're a brand, but I feel like in a lot of ways it makes it harder for you to brand yourself, because at the end of the day, you can sell the most amount of stuff on Etsy and someone's going to look, oh, where did you get that t-shirt? From Etsy.
From Etsy, yeah.
Especially like, with Amazon, I mean, where you don't really have like, your own shop. Like
definitely. And like with that, I just think that like everyone is just stating it just like that. Like they bought something off of Etsy, and you don't really have a brand when you sell on Etsy. You are selling on Etsy, and you're under the Etsy brand. But that's the perk, which also definitely has downfalls. But the key thing to know that I think is important to know is that if you're in the game of building a brand, it just takes an absurd amount of money and time to actually build like a real brand that have recognition and stuff like that. It doesn't take a couple of years. Like the people that actually have these huge brands, like Etsy, Amazon, Nike, or whichever brand you want to do, it takes a long time and a lot of dedication and a lot of resources to create something like that, which just makes it easier for us POD sellers, in my opinion, to be under the Etsy umbrella. But also, I want to also like state humbly that I haven't done Shopify POD myself. I've only done like Amazon and Etsy. So
and the day that there is the levels, especially like if you're selling yourself somewhere. So there is the level of someone found you somewhere in an ad or in a group, and then the next step is someone chooses to knowingly read the emails you send them and the newsletters you send them. And the next level, that is pretty much the brand level, is it doesn't matter if you're on their feed on Instagram or on TikTok. It doesn't matter if you're on the feed on YouTube. It doesn't matter if you send them an email. They go to your website by choice. That is when you're a brand. When someone just goes in and types in the name of your website, which is why I also think like for everybody who wants to brand themselves, And everybody who wants to start small with print on demand, it doesn't matter where. If you want to start something to make sure that it's big, think about a name. Make sure that this name has some kind of meaning, that you can play on it a little bit later, that you can give like the backstory of it, unless it's, of course, your name. And let's say you open a shop on Redbubble, on Etsy, on Amazon. It doesn't matter what is your brand name on these platforms. Buy the domain. If you want to build a brand, start thinking big. Like, say, I'm going to put it out there a little bit, but I'm also going to own my name later, because I've seen a lot of people who I was a part of a group of people who used to do the very nasty thing of buying domains that we think people are going to want soon. So they go into shops on Etsy and stuff like that. They see a shop that starts to make money. They buy a domain with that name. That's a great way to make money later as a domain broker. But I would really think about like the name that you use on Etsy should already be your brand. Do as much as you can to brand yourself from the beginning if what you want is to eventually be a brand. Do we have a Zazzle question here or Society6? I thought I saw something.
We did, yes, but I'm going to save that one because Juna's going to jump off soon.
Can you show us the ball?
Well, I
was going to show you this.
Oh, yeah. I want to do that.
We're going to play a different game today. 1,000 questions. So basically, do you want to explain the book, Juna, and then?
Well, I just bought this book because it's orange, but it has 1,000 unique questions about me. And so, I thought it would be cool to like post these things on social media, but I haven't really posted all these questions about me on social media. So I thought it'd be fun, to use it today. If we could do like interactive, like pick a person and a number between 1 and 1,000, and we'll ask that person a question.
Yeah. So basically, give us a number between 1 and 1,000 in the chat. Juna will find the question in the book with that number. Yeah,
and then
those questions are ridiculous, by the way. So
there's some ridiculous questions. There are 1,000. They're not all winners, but they're questions. 463.
Who is asking? Like.
Who are we asking 463 to?
Put a number and put who you want to answer. Okay, we have Juna at 789. You need to ask yourself.
Oh, wow. Okay, wait, 463. There's too many now. All
we
right.
have 789.
The first one was 463. When was the last time you felt like you made a difference? Oh, wow.
Never.
Today on this show, we made a difference.
Deep question.
So 789. Should I skip to 789 for?
Yeah.
789 Juna. Yeah. Guys, if you're commenting, everybody who's commenting, put a number of between 1 and 1,000 and write the name of the YouTuber that you want to answer the question.
789 for Juna. How would you describe your relationship with money? I have a good relationship with money. I like money. It's fun. It's been good to me.
Money good
but
to
I'm not like over. I do want to make more money, but I'm not like unreasonable. Like I'm gonna just focus my whole time with it. Like I know the balance between having money and spending time with family and all of that. So, and I'm good at my wife's really good at budgeting money. I'm okay with. I don't spend a lot. I'm pretty good at, not buying a lot of expensive things. So. I think I have a good relationship with money. Does that answer the question?
I think so.
Next.
69.
Of course. Okay,
there's so many 69 so far.
It's not like it's the best question. Hold on. Have you ever snuck into anywhere without paying, Philip? Like the movies or anything?
I'm sure I've probably done that. I've probably done that and just forgot to pay or something like that before. I can't remember. Probably, but not that I remember.
You don't know? You did it without actually trying to do it.
I'd be the kind of person to just walk in somewhere, not realize you have to pay.
Oh, innocent.
All
right. 133.
Andreas.
Have you ever stockpiled food or household items in case of shortage?
Ooh, that was a weird question.
I know.
During the I don't think I did. I might have done that with toilet paper during COVID.
Absolutely, we all did.
Not all. Most of Europe wasn't afraid of toilet paper shortage.
Oh, lucky.
It was kind of a thing here in Sweden at least. But apart from that, I haven't really done that. No.
Oh man, these answers are. We need better questions. This book.
Just so you know, in Romania, they literally had like a week after COVID started. It was like, none of the symptoms of COVID is diarrhea. Stop buying toilet paper.
Smart.
Yeah.
It was started by the toilet paper companies, I'm sure.
Yeah.
All right, 181. What one song would you like the whole world to be able to sing?
What?
I know.
I wish I got the survival questions.
We'll do that one.
Talking about weapons. Song I want the whole world to sing.
Sing well, I think.
Sing well.
Yeah, because probably everybody sings it and they sing it badly, but poorly.
Always look on the bright side of life.
Ooh,
That's
a good one.
Really nice if everybody can just like, spontaneously dance and sing to it in the middle of the street all the time.
Ooh.
The second runner-up is every time I go on a flight, I try to get like people to sing "Leaving on a Jet Plane" as we
Smart.
board. So those are my two songs.
That was a good answer. Very good answer.
Nice.
All right, who's next?
We've got
did
one
we
for
get
Daniel here.
Daniel, 63.
Oh, okay.
All right. Hold on.
I like the engagement with this. It's so
Yeah, this is fun. We got to do this next
do it
time.
again. Yeah.
We got 1,000.
Next time we don't even need a topic. Just Juna bring a book and a rough.
What was the last time you smiled at a stranger? Come on, that's not a
Smile
good
at a stranger.
Yeah. Us.
That doesn't
We're not
happen in
strangers.
Germany. It doesn't happen in Germany.
No, we don't smile. We are Germans. We are serious all the time.
You answer that like a German.
Acting right now. I don't smile.
Yeah, we go to acting
Question
class
answered.
at school.
We need to
hate each other
redo.
in real life. Yeah.
We need to redo for that question.
Then we've got one for all.
Oh, 969
Nice.
for all. All right.
969, of course.
Hold on. It's the back of the book.
Do you have
See,
like
I'm not-
the easiest questions or something?
I need to write better questions. 969. If there were only 2 kittens left in the litter, would you still take just one? Oh wow.
What? Not a cat person.
Oh, okay.
So you wouldn't take any.
No. Is there a dog there in the litter?
I'm not, but I probably would take both, I guess, if there's only 2, because then I'd feel really bad that the one kitten, we don't know what's going to happen to the other kitten.
That's a strange
Yeah.
question.
Poor kitten.
I'd take both. I like
If it
that.
was puppies or bunnies, I would take both.
If there were 2 puppies,
I would take both. I would be
There you
happy
go.
that there are only 2 left, because then I would take 3.
sorry we didn't get to all of them, but should we do this one?
Yeah. On last
Okay, last one, 568. I got this on Amazon. Link in the description. No,
Unique what? Maybe I should post this book on KDP. It's really easy to create these books.
It's Guna's KDP.
it is. You could probably use AI to make 1,000 more questions and just do the same cover. All right. 568. 568. Who was the last person to ruin your day and how? Wow. Wow, we just went negative on the.
No, but that's good. I mean, we need like the meat of the story.
Ruin my day and how? I don't know. Really, that's on me if my day is ruined, right?
Yeah. I think
Very
so.
stoic.
I can't think of anybody that ruined my day.
Come on, guys.
There was this one in the comments.
Guys, isn't like a crazy girl ruin something for you?
No. Oh, you mean a long time ago? Not recently. Let's see. Ruin my day. I guess somebody cut me off in traffic. I don't know. That didn't ruin my day, though.
You should move to Bansko. We don't have traffic here. No one can cut you off.
Okay.
Maybe like a horse.
Oh.
Or
When
you
was the
can-
last time a horse ruined your day?
You can actually get late
1900,
to a lot of places here. You can actually show up really late because a herd of cows is crossing the street.
And you
And
can
you
use
have
that
to
as
wait
an excuse.
12 minutes.
You go to work late and show up to work late and be like, there was the herd of cow. Okay. That's
Yeah,
fine.
There
we
was
have
that
that.
cow again.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That works.
Well, I know something that kind of ruined my day. I was really looking forward to going to Lidl in like a week or so. It's on the town next to us, and apparently they're going to close it for 3 months for renovation.
No.
So that
The whole
put a lot of
town?
hummus needs, because the good hummus is there, and I was only supposed to go next week, and they're closing. So no good
no.
hummus for the next 3 weeks for
For
me.
3, wow.
I
3
don't know if
months.
Americans know Lidl. Do you know Lidl? Do you know?
I know little about it.
The
They have
Yes.
Aldi. It's a bit like Aldi.
Ach, Lidl. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
Lidl.
Lidl.
Lidl, yes,
Ah, now I
With good
recognize
hummus.
yes, they have really nice hummus.
Well, thanks guys for playing. I gotta get going. I'm on Jay's channel next, so he's,
Say hello to Jay from us.
yeah, I'll say hello to Jay
Bye,
for you
Gina.
guys. See you guys.
See you, Gina.
You go as well, Andreas. Yeah.
Yeah, I got to run
Bye.
too. I got a coaching call soon, so I got to
Thanks
go.
for joining, both of you.
Does
That's
it
fun.
still stay on the YouTube if I get off, or do I have to run it in the background?
Well, I guess we'll test it.
We'll
I don't
test
know.
it. Sorry guys if it went off in my YouTube channel.
We'll stick around for another 15 minutes
All right.
on here and then stop as well. But
It's
yeah,
been
thanks
great.
for joining.
See you guys.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye, Gina.
All right. See you guys.
See you then.
Hi,
Bye.
Andreas. Someone wrote adulting sucks.
Love that.
So, Daniel, how was your first Print on Demand Council?
Yeah, great.
I think this is a pretty
Yeah, I got
entertaining one.
not too many questions. Maybe next time there are more questions. So
We didn't ruin your day.
I prepared the whole week for this.
I really need to think something like that thing that Juna said for KDP, because I was looking for like to try to show like the quality of KDP versus a different supplier that I know. So I was really looking forward to doing like an actual textbook, not like photos and stuff, but to write a whole book just for the purpose of that. So I'm thinking I will do one of those the books to ask questions to get to know each other. I just need to, phrase it in a different way. I'm pretty sure there's like loads of those books out there, because I've seen like some people like bring them into like parties and games, like game night, like years ago. But that is a good, cool book to try for KDP. I'm gonna write it down.
Gotta research that, and
I wonder
if
if
the
we
lit
could
is
ask
good.
it. I wonder if
do
we
it.
could ask it. Just write a book like the 1,000 Questions one, just better. Wonder if chat.
Here's this
think,
book
like,
as a PDF.
I would
write
put it
it
on
like this.
categories, and I would mostly do like I think I will do like, maybe not to put it as a big thing, because if you look at it, okay, and maybe this is a good idea for print on demand stuff. So right now what we had is a book with 1,000 general questions, yeah? So what you can do is make a book like that, or you can make a book with 500 weird questions relating to survival, or relating to pets, or relating to food. So just make topic specific books. And you know me, I'm going to choose the survival one. I should have gotten the stockpiling food question. Could have shown you my stuff.
Have you been on any survival shows?
No, I was reality TV show was quite fond of trying to recruit me for several years.
Really?
But I think like the level of
How come? How come? How do they recruit
Big
you?
Brother, The Voice, and a bunch of other stuff. Personal Story and places I gone viral in many years ago.
Oh,
like
okay.
12, 14 years ago, when like Facebook just got started and stuff, or through friends or through shows in town. I used to like walk down the mall and I would see like a place that sells guitars and I would just sit there and play for hours. And I feel like those companies, especially back then, they had one type of show, and then they do a different type, but they still kind of call back the people that they liked from that or the first one. But they have such deep characteristics of who they want you to play that it's just not fun.
Yeah.
Decide, like
I can
they do like
imagine.
going to Big Brother, you have to have like a romance with someone, and I'm like, hell no. Like you're
They
not
want
going to
to-
tell me to do that in a place with
They want to-
cameras.
They want to
Yeah.
get you into that role that they want, but you don't want to play that. I can
A
imagine.
friend of mine was supposed to be in the
reality
Survivor
TV.
version. There's like,
Mm.
I think in Bulgaria, they called it like the $1 Million Island.
Mm.
So he was very late stages to that. Like they already bought him his tickets. He already signed a bunch of the contract. And then they're like, by the way, here's a script. You're going to be the villain. And this is exactly what you're going to do. And then at that point, he was like, yeah, you can go with that. Like, I don't care. Yeah. So it's very scripted more than a lot of people think. What, Philip? Someone likes your T-shirt. Can I see it? What is on your T-shirt?
Linkin Park.
Oh, I want to cry. Chester.
The best album.
Yeah, you're showing. You put us on like third, so you were showing your back to me one.
Well, I was showing the back print. It's the best Linkin Park album. But yeah, thanks for that. Stories AI. Well, we'll get back to the Society6 question.
Yeah. Okay.
Very grateful for your help. I have one last question. What are your thoughts on Zazzle and Society6? I'll do the platforms, but is it worth spending time on these two?
Okay. First, let's start with Society6 because I'm not sure you can even start a shop. They pretty much, I don't know, like 2 months ago, they pretty much kicked everybody out. So a year ago, they went into a pay-to-play model, even more than a year. I think it was November a year plus ago. They went into a pay-to-play model that you had to pay them with tiers, and they delayed it. Then they did that. And then 2 months ago, they decided to just randomly kick out, if I'm not mistaken, 90% of the sellers from their platforms, including the ones who were paying them, including the ones who have been paying all this time and uploading designs. They just said, oh, we have this. They have this kind of line of aesthetics that they want to go with their shop. They also canceled the option to have your own pricing. And you pretty much get either 5% or 10% commission. That is the highest that they offer right now, which is ridiculous. Yeah, they're leveling up everything. Basically, it's kind of going to look like Society6 is a store with a concept of its own. And yeah, so Society6, I'm not even sure you can open a store these days. With Zazzle, one thing that I did like, especially about Zazzle and Society6 when they were still normal, is how easy you can affiliate yourself. So whenever you promote your product on Pinterest or on Instagram or wherever, you can put an affiliate link to yourself and basically either make a double commission if someone uses your affiliate link and buys from your store, or just make affiliate commission if they buy from someone else. This is completely legal, and they even tell you to do that. And with Zazzle, I think that the best thing to do, first of all, is either play on customization, because one of the best things on the platform is that you can basically create like a notebook or something, and the person who's buying it customizes their name on this planner or whatever on a mug or these kind of things, and even customize their own photos and uploads their own photos. So I would probably go towards that direction, but I would also choose to go with some kind of niche to your store. And of course, with Zazzle, you can open multiple stores under the same account. However, with Zazzle, the minute you open your Zazzle shop, before you start uploading things, fill out the tax form and wait for them to tell you that it's okay. Because I have seen people, including myself in the mirror, who have been making a lot of sales on Zazzle, and for the 6th time, they don't like my tax form because they decided it wasn't good.
That is the worst platform to get your tax form accepted. I've never had an issue with getting tax forms accepted, but they will point out like one letter is wrong or something like that.
No. That's the thing. Zazzle will not point out anything. They will not point out anything. And for sometimes it's even like, oh, we didn't even get your tax form. So I remember there were like, I think I sent it 3 times. And then they were like, oh, we saw your applications. You had a mistake in one of them. In which one? That's it. They're not telling me. For me, despite the fact that it's completely legal that I'm currently a resident in Bulgaria and my business is in Israel, to Zazzle, it's weird. But I have seen a lot of people who make some kind of mistake. And it's not even the point of whether you're going to make that mistake or not. It's the point of there is a person who's filing this. Maybe that person is going to make a mistake. Maybe that's going to get lost somewhere. So don't put your efforts into this unless, you already know that you can get paid. And I've seen people who do this with even the level before of starting to upload to a platform without realizing that the platform only pays you in a certain method, which is not acceptable in your country. I would definitely say with Zazzle, unless you're trying to rank up when it comes to like wedding invitations or baby shower invitations or the wedding and baby shower niches in general, think about marketing from the outside. Always upload your own photos, like that's the best, or your own mock-ups. I do know that a lot of the products that I sold a lot were products that I genuinely liked or designed for friends. So I would order that for a friend of mine, using them as basically like a birthday gift or whatever, and then take a lot of photos of that product and use those photos on Zazzle, because I think it's one of the only marketplaces where you can upload your own photos and your own mock-ups. So I would definitely do that. And I think like a lot of people don't understand how extensive Zazzle can be. So you have like collections and categories and whatever, but the collections have banners on them. It's most of the people who sell a lot, it's because they have a very unanimous look for everything. So think 2 fonts, maximum 4 colors that you're using for all of your branding, and brand everything on Zazzle. That would be my Zazzle or Society6. I don't know if you guys were trying ever Zazzle or Society6. Like
Yeah, I used to.
Which one, Zazzle or Society6?
I used to sell them both. Society6 just kind of died out, which I guess is in line with what's been happening. Zazzle, I still get sales. To be honest, I've not logged into Zazzle in like a year, but I still get sales from it and payments.
For what type of products?
It's just the same kind of designs of an Amazon, like static t-shirt designs, just repurposed.
But you sell them on t-shirts, or because like on Zazzle, like if someone sees your design on a t-shirt, they can put it on a mug and buy a mug with it. That's like one of the most unique things on the platform. They can pretty much put it on any one of the 1,300 products that they have.
Yeah. No, they didn't just sell on t-shirts. They did sell on other products, or they do sell on other products. I've not checked it in so long. I don't even know what's like the most selling product for me there. But it's never sold very much. Like it's never had anywhere near as many sales as my Amazon or Etsy, etc. So I've not put much effort into it. It's just kind of a side thing, because you could, or you were able to upload to it with Flying Upload back in the day. I don't think you can do that anymore. They're very anti upload.
I've never used an uploader.
Really?
Yeah, you do everything manually.
Okay.
Because I like doing it. I like doing it. And I feel like, again, if you can do those things and do more and more of them, it's different than I like doing something. I do it once and then I market it. Like my approach has always been different.
So you're not into the masses of designs. You're more like you put your love into one design after another. So you don't need an uploader.
I would put, let's just say that I would make a design with love, but I would put more of the love into the, 120 Pinterest pins that will go to that specific design.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
That was more my thing.
Yeah, I think I uploaded some designs on Society6, but not on Zazzle. But the
uploader is horrible.
Don't make much money on Society6. I don't even think that I would make money there.
Everybody out. Like I was selling there, and they kicked everybody out of Society6.
Okay. I had an uploader, a multi-uploader. It was back in the day, Ninja Uploader or something like that, for 3 months. And then I uploaded basically all my designs to all the different kinds of platforms. But I think Society6 was under there, but not Zazzle. But there was TeePublic, and like every month I get $1 or $2 from TeePublic, so it's really not worth it.
You sell a t-shirt on sale or a sticker.
Yeah, like you get 50 cents royalties. Yeah, like what?
I still get somehow like sort of affiliate commission from TeePublic, because apparently at some point I set up one of those referring shops. Like you can make a shop and put other design in it, like a shop front. So I think I wasn't even sure what I was doing at some point, because they have this thing where you open like a curator shop or something, where you can put other people's designs and then market that externally. So you basically make affiliate commission. So I think I've had that shop at some point when I wasn't even sure what I was doing. And then a lot of the things that I was pinning on Pinterest, apparently I pinned from that shop instead of from my own. So I still get like affiliate commission from TeePublic, and I don't know where it's coming from.
I think Juna does that as well. He gets affiliate commission from it. There also used to be a model, I don't know if it still exists, where you could share your link, and if other people open a store and get sales on that store on TeePublic, right, then you get a commission for each sale they make, like $1 per sale. That used to be pretty good as well. But yeah, I don't get many sales on TeePublic anymore. I used to, but since the tiering system came in, it's just all kind of died.
I don't even look into the account, so I'd rather not get money from TeePublic because I have to bookkeep it. I have to get the invoices and something and stuff like that.
Bookkeep an extra $1 per month.
But it's true. If you work with an accountant, like I've seen, for example, if I move my business to Bulgaria, there is a pretty good chance that for any invoice that I want to lay out there, I'm going to pay like €4 per invoice. Like
really?
Do it or something like that. They basically bill you based on the number of invoices that you have. So like a lot of these things, I even thought about it when it comes to like selling digital downloads or stuff like that. I would much rather even the digital downloads, instead of working with PayHip, where you get the money right away with PayPal, I would prefer to work with Fourth Wall, where you get paid once a month. Because then, one invoice instead of many. But that is if I move my business to Bulgaria. But that's definitely a thing. Like, I mean, to just invoice things, if you just make like $50, it's better that, or $1, it's better that it just won't come in. It's not worth your time.
Well, I closed the account, but I think I don't have the account details anymore.
You both have a very similar, like, hexagon things in your background. Is that like a Germany thing? You both have hexagons in your background with plants.
It's a YouTube thing.
Germans like hexagons.
Yeah, maybe.
I see that usually with the YouTubers who talk about life-relating topics, not professional tutorials. And it's really interesting. Your backgrounds are very kind of similar.
Your background is like ever-changing. Always some new artwork to see.
No, did you see my wall?
Really
you saw my wall painting, right?
I've seen it, yeah, but the audience hasn't, I don't think.
You painted it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me 8 days.
8 days?
Okay. 8 days and 180
acrylics.
It goes all the way to the floor, and there's mess on the other side, so I won't show you the other one. Yeah, that one's completely mine. I'll just say.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, and I painted it with a very, very small brush. Also, the other stuff in the background.
Oh, cool.
A little owl there. So, yeah.
Right. On that note, I have to jump off. But yeah, we've been going 2 hours. What?
Are you joining Jay and Juna?
No, I wish.
I just need Jay and Juna 5 times in a row.
Jay and Juna, Jay and Juna, Jay and Juna.
Joining Jay and Juna.
Oh, joining Jay and Juna. Oh my god.
Okay. I'm out.
No. English brain failed. But yeah, thanks to everyone who joined us today. That was had a lot of comments today, a lot of questions. Sorry we didn't get through all of them. But we'll be back. We'll be back in about a month from now. Maybe
with lightsabers, hats, rubber balls, and Juna's book.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the plan.
You do it like
we'll
that.
see you back then. Thanks to all. Thanks to everyone who joined us in the chat, and to you as well for joining us, May and Daniel.
Thank you.
Oh, since Daniel is new, I know everyone knows May by now, but let me drop his channel because he's got a very underrated channel in my opinion. I'll drop his link right now, so check him out. Give him a follow, and
Thank you.
You're welcome, and we'll see you next time. I'll play that intro again just for fun. Why not? Bye-bye.
Bye.